morning, children. In our last classes, we studied about different modes of nutrition in plants and also photosynthesis in plants. So we have known that heterotrophic mode of nutrition in plants means what. So now let us go through in a brief what are the involvements that is involved in heterotrophic mode of nutrition. The first one is parasite, means a parasitic plant. This is a plant where it depends on other plants for food and nutrition. Here the plant that provide food is called a host plant, and that the plant which depends on that plant is called a parasitic plant. Then we have insectivore. What is this insectivore? The plant which eat up or trap the insects and digest them for their food and nutrition is called as insectivorous plants because they eat up insects. Therefore, they are called as insectivorous plants. Then saprotrophic nutrition, the mode of nutrition in which the nutrition are obtained from the dead and decaying matter is called as saprotrophic nutrition. Plants or any organisms that exhibit this mode are called as saprotrophs. Then we have symbiosis. What's the meaning of symbiosis? It is the relationship between plants and organisms to live together and share both shelter and nutrients. In the symbiotic form, both the plants, or they may be both organisms or one plant and other is an organism, they will share the shelter as well as nutrients. This is happening in the next thing, that is how the nutrients are replenished in the soil, that is how they are reformed in the soil, how again it is formed. How it is again formed and supplied for the soil. This is an example, or it is the process which is again can be related to the symbiosis process. So this is how the soil gets the nutrients from the soil during the process of photosynthesis. So the left side arrows that is pointed towards the plant is that the plant is getting from outside, and the arrows from the plants to other side, right side, it is there what the plant gives us. So plants are getting sunlight, carbon dioxide, oxygen, water and nutrients like nitrogen, potassium and phosphorus. But what are they giving us? They are giving so many things for our life, for human beings as well as animals. They are carbohydrates, proteins, vitamins and oils. So they are giving the required nutrients for other animals and human beings. Yes, children, now we are going to see in the pictorial representation how the plant is going to replenish its nutrients. Actually, plants needs sunlight, carbon dioxide, water and other nutrients. So what are the primary nutrients required? The primary nutrients which are required for a plant are nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium, as well as it needs some micronutrients also, which help them in growth and development. So when the soil is exhausted or it has become deplenished or decreased in the minerals of the soil or the fertilizers, we produce the external fertilizers which contain these nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, calcium, magnesium and sulfur also. So when we can do it externally, the soil also has some part of its help that will be rendered for a plant to grow. So they give the plant the required nutrients, that is the basic or the primary nutrients, nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium. This is how the nature takes the symbiotic cycle, that is, it takes the help of the bacteria and other protozoa, fungi and algae help to replenish the soil with the required primary and other nutrients. So soil, the plant feeds the soil organisms. Which are the soil organisms present in the soil? They are cyanobacteria, bacteria, fungi, actinomycetes, algae, protozoa and others. Then still more things what the plants need. Soil organisms feed what the soil organisms feed the plant with. That organisms feeds the plant with different hormones, growth regulators, antibiotics, minerals and enzymes. This is how soil, the bacteria and the other organisms present in the soil depend upon the plant and the plant depend upon those organisms. So in that slide we studied it how the symbiotic cycle is going to happen between different organisms as well as the plants. That is schematically represented here, how the fertilizer as well as other nutrients required by plants and organisms are taken and given in the form of exchange for the plant and other organisms. Organic matter or microorganisms will be present inside the soil and soil nutrients. See, so many things is present in the soil. Only little things the plant get from outside. You can understand schematic diagram in this. What is present in atmosphere and what is present inside the soil and how the cycle goes on. The cycle will be continuous. Here, how does this nutrients are replenished in the soil? A bacteria named Rhizobium, that cannot make its own food. It lives in the roots of the crops. So it can convert the atmospheric nitrogen into soluble form which the plants need. So it takes up the nitrogen from the atmosphere, converts into usable form and supplies it to the plants. That is, it converts it into a usable form. What it converts? It converts nitrogen to usable form. So thus exhibiting a symbiotic relation. Plants and crops get nitrogen from Rhizobium and in turn they give food to the Rhizobium. This relationship helps the nutrients in the soil to replenish, that is, to be again available when it is exhausted. How it is available for the plants? Some of the soil only it will have little contents of nitrogen, but after if it has been exhausted, how it comes back to the soil? It is because of this the bacteria called Rhizobium. Children, practice the symbiotic cycle in your homework book. Okay, so I'm zooming it so that you can view all the spellings properly. You view properly the spellings and whatever is given. So write the symbiotic cycle in your homework book. And one more I'll give you to write. The next one is this one. This is the schematic representation. So that is the symbiotic cycle which actually with actual things, and this is the schematic representation of that symbiotic cycle. So how the soil is replenished, this will be known to you and you will be practicing this symbiotic cycle and the schematic diagram in your homework book. This is a model which you can create with the color papers whatever you have in your house for representing the photosynthesis. So how the photosynthesis takes place in presence of what and what is the product, and then what is the final element liberated, how the plant prepare its food. So like a model, prepare it neatly so that it helps you to understand and it gives you some recreation while reading. You will understand very well. And also in your homework book, try to answer for this multiple choice questions. The first one, organisms which prepare food for themselves using simple, naturally available raw materials are referred to as. You will select the answer by yourself. Then the second is, in the absence of which of the following will photosynthesis not occur in leaves? Then the third question, which of the following statement are correct? So which are the one or two statements that is correct? You have to select it properly and answer it. Then picture plant traps insects because it. Then why it traps? The term that is used for the mode of nutrition in yeast, mushroom and bread mold is. If you read the textbook once, then you will be feeling easy to answer all these questions. Whatever you write and read in classwork, with that it is most important that you have to read your textbooks also. Then only you will get the proper, exact, correct answers for these type of questions. Then the sixth question is, when we observe the lower surface of a leaf through a magnifying lens, we see numerous small openings. Which of the following is the term given to such openings? What is that opening called? Then, two organisms are good friends and live together. One provides shelter, water and nutrients, while other prepares and provides food. Such an association means here relationship. That such a relationship or association of organisms is termed as. Then the next question is, which of the following raw material is available in the air for photosynthesis? For photosynthesis,